start, I would like to do something that we do in Israel and we did also in New York and they're doing in San Francisco. When I say, what do we want? You all yell, democracy. When I say, when do we want it? You all yell, now, okay? Let's try. What do we want?
Democracy.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Democracy.
When do we want it?
Now.
Next time. What do we want?
Democracy.
When do we want it?
Now.
Ladies and gentlemen, why are we here? We are here because we love and support Israel. We are here because we are extremely worried about the state of our beloved country. The protest movement is today the only firewall preventing the country from going up in flames. The men and women of the movement are today Israel's most important gatekeepers. They are the iron dome of the Israeli democracy. We are here to join them. We are here to support them. As a proud citizen of Israel, I am deeply concerned that the government of Israel is trying to simply and knowingly establish a dictatorship. Many dictatorships in history were established not by tanks firing in the streets, but rather by signing paper behind closed doors, passing new laws that weaken the judicial system, by controlling the media, by populism, propaganda, and by spreading fear and hate toward a targeted population. By the time people understand what's happening, it is too late to resist. To understand exactly what is happening in Israel, you need to ask only one question. What limits the power of the government? In Israel, we have no constitution, no federal structure, only two branches of government, and no other checks on the power of the central government except for one thing, the Supreme Court. At present, the government is trying to gain control over the Supreme Court. If it succeeds, there will be no mechanism that would limit its power. Coalition members have already proposed numerous laws and regulations that discriminate against Muslims, Christians, women, LGBTQ, and secular people. To be specific, they have already proposed 225 laws that would grant unlimited power to the government and the Prime Minister. The only way to take control of the Supreme Court, and then they will be able to unleash this dictatorial flood. In addition, if the Supreme Court is weakened or neutralized, the government can rig the election. They can rig the election by denying Arab citizens voting rights and by closing down all independent media outlets and ending the freedom of the press. Israel will still hold elections, just like Russia holds elections, but it will become a dictatorship. Remember, if they succeed, there is no other mechanism in place that could limit the government's power. I've just heard that 800 physicians from Israel applied for relocation, so I thought I would read this too. Yuval Noah Harari, an Israeli scholar, author, historian, and a professor in the Department of History in the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, reflected on the situation personally. You all know Yuval Noah Harari. He wrote, "I've never seriously considered leaving Israel, despite the many problems here and despite receiving many invitations at various universities and research centers around the world. I always thought it would be more important to stay and try to change things here than to live for somewhere calmer and safer. But as my job is to think and say things that the majority often does not like, I doubt whether I could go on working in a place lacking any meaningful protection for minority rights and for the freedom of expression." I think we all feel like him. And I will just finish by saying what Ehud Manor said. "I have no other country, even though my land is burning. Only one word in Hebrew penetrates my veins and my soul. Here is my home. I will not be silent, for my country has changed her face. I shall not give up on her. I will remind her and sing into her ears until she opens her eyes." Let's try it one more time. What do we want?
Democracy!
When do we want it?
Now!